Well, welcome to Hamilton County TV, and this is Perry Williams. Alongside me today is Jay Gilbert, the head football coach of the Westfield Rock.
Hi Perry, welcome back.
Well, thank you, Coach. Another tough ball game. Of course, they're all tough in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, and it's just one of those things that. Let's talk a little bit about the ball game against Brownsburg, because they're a pretty good football team.
Yeah, I mean they're ranked number 1 and undefeated.
There's a reason for that, right?
There's a reason. Our team's okay. We've lost 3 games to 3 6-0 teams. We just got to keep getting better. Though there were some bright spots against Brownsburg and some negative spots. We played better defensively. I thought we just played hard, and we finally got a couple takeaways and did some good things. I think getting Dylan Thieneman back made an enormous difference immediately. So that was fun. We limited his plays and only played him on defense, but sure was nice having 21 back out there and forcing the middle of the field and hit a couple big hits and just track things down and made us all look better. So the defense looked better. It was a 14-7 game at half. We played tough. We scored on our opening drive and looked great, but from that point on, we just really could not get the run game going. And the longer the game went and we couldn't run the ball, the more they knew it was a pass, the more they could pin their ears back up front. We started to struggle to block them versus the pass also. So we got some improvements to make up front, which, I hope will restore itself as a strength of ours. And we got to find a way to run the football. That's important for any team. And so we struggled in that way, but we did do some good things defensively. The special teams were excellent. We returned a kick for a touchdown. We got our hand on a punt and affected a punt, and did fine in coverage and other entities and punt and things like that. So this was probably our best overall special teams performance. We had 2 takeaways for the defense. Just still wasn't enough to beat a good team like Brownsburg. So we're still working, still improving, but I'm optimistic moving forward. I do think our team got better last week.
Well, that's a good thing. And that's really all that really matters, is you need to get better every week. Now, obviously, you like to win football games.
Yeah.
But getting better every week and not taking a step back is a positive thing.
Yeah, we especially when you have young guys, right? And all those sophomores and all that, they're playing for us and first timers. I feel like we're still improving. We had a great week of practice, so even though we lost and ended up losing big by the end, it was, we certainly were toe to toe for a while. And it was, even 21-7 at the end of 3, it was certainly not out of question that we could win that game. But we just kind of ran out of steam there late.
Yeah, and you were talking about the young players, and I think one of the things that I've noticed in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference is, the one thing that kind of shell shocks you a little bit, and I know that these kids have played at a very high level, but when you walk out there on that field and you see the crowds at every football game, it's packed. It's a little bit different, and you have to get used to that.
Yeah, it's a great environment over at Brownsburg. They don't have a track, so it just feels like they're closer to you. They've got a DJ, the announcer's screaming during your cadence. You're trying to call a play, and the announcer's screaming, and got all kinds of fans. It's homecoming and all those things.
Yeah.
Which I honestly, I love that kind of environment. But I could imagine for a kid, it's a little eye-opening.
I tell you what, though, Coach, I've done a lot of Westfield football games, and your crowd are outstanding.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade ours. We're happy to be back at home this week. I'll say that.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, a little bit different this week. Another Hoosier Crossroad Conference foe, and it's in Avon, and it's kind of a scary Avon because they're 0-6 and 0-4 in the conference, but they're still a good football team.
Yeah, they're certainly a talented team. They absolutely could have beat Fishers last week. I think Fishers is a good team. So, it's that puts a little bit of fear in or doubt into you, I guess, is at 0-5, their scores looked this way, but then last week against a good Fishers team, they had the lead with 10 minutes left. So, we have to worry about us.
That's right.
I mean, I think Avon's good enough to beat us because that's our whole conference is that way.
Yes.
And so the whole confident humility, we have to be confident that we can not only win this game, but win the rest of them. But we have to have the humility to understand that anyone can beat us, and we better get to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it's pretty nice that you have Thiedemann back because they can throw the football.
Their quarterback is named Mason Reynolds, and he played one game as a freshman and threw for like 350 yards. And so he had a great coming out party, and he had an awesome season as a sophomore. And big kid, they've got great receivers. Typically, they run the ball a little better this year than last, but yeah, they can throw it all over the field, and they get the ball out quick. That's something. They make you cover the short pass and the long pass, so they kind of stretch you vertically. And if you put too many bodies out there, though, they can still run the ball. So and their O-line's good. So that very good offense. They've been scoring points even though they've been losing.
Coach, what about them on the defensive side? Do you think that maybe be some of the things that they struggle with?
Well, they've given up more points than some of these teams we've played. They're kind of multiple in what they do. So, a big part of it is just our guys need to understand who to block. That's easier said than done because they move around a lot and they play different types of alignments and defenses to where our guys have to know all these different assignments. They certainly have a couple ball hawks on there. They're not huge on defense, but they run well. We got to get our offense rolling again. We were playing great offensively, and then these last 2 weeks we played two really good defenses, and they've gotten the better of us back-to-back weeks. So it's time for our offense to step up and take a step forward like we were.
Yeah, because one of the things, like you said, I mean, Avon's another opponent in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, but the thing it boils down to is you have to get better, and you got to continue to win that turnover battle.
Yep.
You got to continue to get better on penalties and
Yep.
and different things like that. And of course, those are all things that you have to work each week on.
Yeah, even Friday we had 3 false starts, which just kills you. And then we had a big gain early. We had a 15-yard penalty for hurdling, which we haven't seen called in maybe since leather helmets. And
Yeah, I was gonna say.
that brought it all the way back and erased a long play, and we got the -15. That was a tough one, and that ended a drive. So we're just not good enough to give anything away. I mean, we need to continue to improve our discipline. It's gotten better, but we're not out of the woods yet, so we're still learning, but I do think we're improving.
Well, Coach, Hamilton County TV will be here this week to broadcast the game, and I'll be up there in the booth and along with Jack Russell to do the game. So we're excited to be back here in Westfield. I always enjoy coming over here. So
You're good luck. We need you over here more.
I appreciate that.
So
I appreciate that.
It's youth night, so we'll have about 400 youth players out there running around.
And that part of it is very important to you too, because your program's not going to be. You can't have a good high school football team if you don't have a program below it.
Yeah, very proud of our youth league. We have throughout the trends with football, we've always stayed steady or grown in our enrollment. I think it's a good product with a lot of kids having fun and learning character and discipline and falling in love with the game of football. So I'm very excited about our youth league and glad they're coming to support us.
Well, good luck, Coach, on Friday night. I guess I'll see you Friday night.
Yeah, I'll be there. So thanks, Perry. Go Rocks.